feel like it's giving Donald Trump's wig. I mean, it's Christmas. Hi guys, welcome back to Image Lab Perfection. I'm the wannabe pastry cook, and listen, today we are unboxing the Fall Winter 2023 Wave 2 collection. Thank you to everyone who purchased the Wave 1 collection. You know, I'm glad that you guys love the bonbons, and we're back with more. And it's going to be a very, very interesting video today, so yeah. Before I unbox the bonbons, hot chocolate, it's hot chocolate season. So, Ruby, I forgot which ones we do. Ruby, white, 53% luxury, the essential hot chocolate, like this is the time to be getting your hot chocolates. And also we brought the yuzu truffles back, which I'm so happy about, and I know that you guys are too. In the Falling Through Yorkshire tour with Alicia, we actually gave out the truffles with one of the cheeses on the cheese board, and you know, I made the truffles, I packaged them all up apart from the ones that I needed for that first night, because I thought, you know, just in case, and I gave them out, and then afterwards we have a little pop-up shop so like people can buy what they've had and everything, and I literally sold all the truffles. Apart from 2 bags which I actually pulled back because I needed them for the next night, you know, to give to the people. So I had to make more, and people love the truffles, like them yuzu and white chocolate truffles. So they're back. Okay, they're back, and I'm happy about that. Okay, now for the bonbons. Mason's tied the ribbon again. Oh, you know, I just love the ribbon. Mason does such a good job, and it's a good job that Mason's here because I cannot do the ribbon that nice. Okay, so the 2-piece box. Okay, so as always we have the chocolate social, our staple bonbon. Now listen, this is Mason's favorite. Mason has tried literally all the bonbons, and this is Mason's favorite bonbon, and it's a lot of people's favorite bonbon, which is why it's a staple. So the chocolate social, we all know the story. Well, should know the story right now of the chocolate social. If you are unsure, then go to our debut collection and, you know, view the story there, because, you know, we unpack it very well there. So, yes. And then, oh, I'll close it back up. The next bonbon. So this one's called Running from the Ritz, and there's a couple of things that you may notice about this bonbon. That is the same colour as this one. Apart from the flecks or flakes or whatever you like to call them, splodges. But we are going to unpack that, we're going to get into it all, and everything's that way for a reason. So Running from the Ritz is a bonbon from The Vault. And The Vault is basically, it's like a compilation of bonbons that I haven't put out because they are either too pete or they need work because I cannot figure out how to encapsulate all the elements. So this one is actually in the vault because it was too pete. So the last bonbon that came from the vault was It's Seriously Basic in Fall Winter of 2022 for the same reason, because it was too pete. So, listen, you're gonna have to stick with me on this story, alright? And I need to just point you back to the disclaimer at the start of the video before we get into it, okay? So, Mason, throw the disclaimer again. You know, let them know, because we are not getting sued. Right. So I was in 2 minds whether to put this bonbon out, because part of me was like, no, this is pete, do not do this. But then the other part of me was like, no, because there's actually some really, really important stories. Well, not stories, but like topics of discussion that come up with this bonbon. So I thought, you know what, it's appropriate to put this out. And listen, I own the company, so I can do what I want. No, that sounds really cocky, that, doesn't it? No. Yeah, so I have creative freedom and I can put out what I want. So here it is. So this is a story from the Beans days, and it involves a character from that period of my life. So if you remember the family tree from spring summer 2023, Mason's going to put the family tree back up. So this story is about this person. Okay, so in 2021, the head chef at the time, which, you know, we'll circle when we talk about the person, the head chef at the time went down to the Ritz for a meal, and he really enjoyed it. He went with his family, I believe, and he came back up, and somehow he knows the sous chef of the Ritz. I don't really know the ins and outs. You know, I think it's funny that we didn't know that he knew the sous chef until he came back from the Ritz, but whatever. Anyway, he went for a meal at the Ritz, and he said he knew the sous chef, and he wanted to send some of us down to do a stage or a placement there. And, you know, okay. So over the next few months, they approached the people that they wanted to send down, and I don't really know exactly who was approached. From my understanding, there was the person that was approached, and I was also approached, and I turned down the offer because I had done a placement in a hotel in London on Park Lane, and it was probably the worst experience of my life. Even though the place that I worked at and the Ritz are two very, very different places, they're both very fancy, you know, they're both very posh hotels, but they are two very different places, and even though they are two very, very different places, the structure of staff is still the same. And I don't want to have another situation like I had. I don't want to have another experience like the one I had. So I declined the offer to the stage of the Ritz because, like I said, it's the same structure of staff, and I had a really negative experience, and I don't want to repeat that. And where I was in my career, where I am in my career, is that I don't need that on my CV. That's not something that I need in my life, on my CV. I'm good, I don't want it. And I know that some people would be like, are you kidding? Like, that's an amazing experience. But it's not the experience that I want. It isn't. And so I declined it, and they were very, very persistent, especially the person, the head chef. He was very, very persistent. He was trying to drill it into me like, you need to go. And I was just like, no, I don't want it, okay? I was currently working at a patisserie in Sheffield, Guilt, which was amazing, and I didn't need it. And so I declined it, but this other boy accepted it, and that was one of the things that they said. They was just like, oh, you need to go because he's going, if anything happens, then I was like, this boy has only just stopped saying the N-word, and you think he's going to defend me if anyone says anything remotely offensive? No, absolutely not. Wrong person, boo-boo, you know what I mean? Like, no. Anyway, so I declined the offer, and a lot of people have a lot to say, which I don't give a shit. Okay, I'm good. So anyway, I just forgot about it, and then a couple of months later, obviously, they were like, oh, he's going in November, and the same time that he was going to London, I was literally going to London recording the trailer for Famous for Perfection with Mason, and I also was going to the restaurant show, and I was also going to somewhere I forgot that was going to another event as well, and I had this meeting with this company about, listen, stuff that's not come out yet, but yeah, so I was actually going down the same time that he was going down, and I didn't realise it at the time, but as it happens, we were going down on the same day, which I didn't know until like the weeks coming up to it. Anyway, so it came to the day that he was going down, and I was going down the same day. Fun little fact, actually, we both left, like this train left the station and the bus left the station literally at 8:23 because my bus was delayed. Anyway, and so this was about a couple of weeks after a meeting with the HR people, which I think I discussed all this in the Bonbon I'm Out. But basically, we made the general consensus was that the team needed to involve me more, and I needed to be like more part of the team. Which, even though like you can't be a part of something you're not invited to. Anyway, the consensus was try and become more of a team. So we actually agreed to do coffee while we were down in London, because the day that we were going to London, we got there around lunchtime, and then we had the free afternoon. So you know, we thought let's go for coffee. So yeah, so we agreed that we would go for coffee in the, which also, just a quick little rewind. How come the Sue's best day, the head chef, how come he didn't go down? That's always something that I wondered, by the way, like, because he was making us go down to the start, but why didn't he go down on the start? Anyway, okay, so we agreed to go for coffee. Now, just a little backstory about me and him. I personally didn't like him. I thought that he was just a not nice person. I mean, hello, I mean, like I said, he only stopped saying the N-word like a couple of months prior. But no, I didn't think he was a nice person. I thought that he was very two-faced. And when he'd talk about people in a negative way, he wouldn't just be like, oh, I'm not a fan of this person. He'd rip them to shreds and tear them down in a malicious way on a different level that I have seen, but that I don't like. And so he wasn't someone that I really aligned with or got on with. I was not a fan of him at all. I do not know why I'm being so polite here, especially after the way that he treated me throughout that job. From the bottom of my heart, he was one of the most awful, just genuinely nasty and vile people that I have had the displeasure of encountering, let alone working with. And this isn't just my opinion, this was a consensus of a lot of people. He had that reputation in that job and also in the industry around that area. Yet, like a lot of the straight men in this industry, was applauded for it, which is backwards. There is very few people in this world that I would ever call the C word, but he would be one of them. And I talk a bit about in the video later how I hope that he's changed, and maybe he has, but this is just me speaking on the person that he was then. Anyway, back to the video. But I was here for trying to become part of the team, and I was here for, you know, trying to build a connection, and so of course I met him. So, when I got to London, the agreement was that we'd meet at this place and that then we'd go for coffee. So we met at a place called Kick Game, which is a shop in Covent Garden. Then we went for coffee at Shots, London, which by the way I paid for. And this is not, the thing is, I don't know if anyone's been to Shot London, you will understand, this is not like a Costa £12 affair. This is like 30 quid for 2 coffees and 2 cakes kind of situation, but it's okay, I got you. And then we went up to Selfridges, and yeah, I mean, I was there. I can't say that I had a great time because that was probably the worst shopping trip that I've ever been on, and I'm saying that very honestly because, I mean, when we were in Kick Game, I pointed at someone. I didn't point at them, but I was just like, oh my God, like that. It wasn't like a, I like this. It was just like, oh, like that. And he was like, don't point. I was just like, okay. Fine. When we were in Selfridges, you know, obviously the places that he wanted to look at, the places like Babe in Egg, whatever it's called. Babe, he, you know, I was there, like we were looking through stuff, I don't like the clothes, but I was looking at stuff as well, you know what I mean? And then I really wanted to look in the little Fendi bit, and if you know Selfridges, it's not like going into a physical store, it's like they've got like little sections, obviously in Selfridges, it's not like you just go into the store, So anyway, so I really wanted to look at Fendi, and then I kind of went in, and he just kind of waited outside the section, like he wouldn't get involved, he wouldn't step into the section, he just kind of wait. So I felt awkward, like I couldn't look around. Normally when I go shopping with friends, like we're all in it, we're all looking through stuff. Oh, this is so cute, oh this, you know what I mean? Like it's not like we're over here, like you go look at it. You know what I mean? Like it was just weird, and it was just a not nice shopping trip. But I was here for trying to, you know, kumbaya, you know, let's all get along. So yeah, after Selfridges, I wanted to walk back because he was staying in Piccadilly Circus, so we were walking back down that way. And I wanted to walk down Bond Street because it was the end of November, all the Christmas decorations were up, and I just went in and I wanted to see the Christmas decorations. He didn't want to walk that way. He wanted to walk the way that he knew. So I was like, okay, you know what I mean, that's fine. I'll just go see the Christmas decorations another day. But, you know, it wasn't the best experience. Then we just parted ways. Okay, so then later that evening, he was going out for a meal by himself. I was just doing whatever I was doing, you know, probably just running around London, just like being like, at all the Christmas lights, because I'm sorry, but they're on a different level. Like, this is not Barnsley. This is not Barnsley. It's not Leeds. Listen, go to London at Christmas. The lights are beautiful. Anyway, so I got a message later on from your man, because I'll read you the message. So I got a message basically saying that he didn't want to pay £30 for a taxi, and the message read, "Can you find out what I need to do to get to the restaurant?" Was called Launceston Place on the Tube. I'll throw up the screenshot of the message. No, please, just can you find this out? So, you know, obviously I said yeah. And I found out exactly where he needed to go from, you know, where he was staying to get to the restaurant. You know, I literally wrote down, messaged him the directions. You need to get on this tube, on this line, going this way, you need to get off at this place and then change to this tube. And I wrote it all down, like, listen, if you could not follow that instruction, then you must have been some sort of idiot. But anyway, whatever, because it was just so simple. It was so simple. And I said, you know, listen, if you need, I can come and like run you there. Because I lied and said that I was in the area. I wasn't in the area, I was about half an hour away. But, you know, I didn't want him to feel bad about offering, you know, accepting my help. So I said I was like, yeah, whatever. And he was just like, yeah, that's okay. So I actually escorted him to the restaurant. On the way to the restaurant, he was just telling me all about his plans for the morning, how he was going to get there, what time he was going to get up, you know, and he mentioned that he was going to have a brunch bar for breakfast and that he needed to go get some brunch bar, that he was going to have a brunch bar for breakfast. This was, by the way, it was very early in the morning that he was setting off to do the stage, you know, because he was walking, he wasn't going to get the tube. Anyway, so I ran into the place, and when I dropped him off, I didn't get invited in, by the way, which if it was me in that situation, I would have said, hi, listen, do you want me to ask if they can add another person to the table? You know, make it a table of two instead of a table of one, you know what I mean? Because I personally would feel bad, but he didn't, and that's fine, I respect that, you know, I would have offered, but I didn't want to have lunch with him, like dinner with him anyway, so that was fine. But after I dropped him off, I was like, it's a Sunday, and I don't really know how things work in London, but up north, everywhere's shutting at 4 o'clock, so there was no chance he was going to get any brunch bars. And so I went to Gloucester Road tube stop. There was like a Waitrose there or something. Anyway, the Waitrose was shut in. I don't really know what time they shut, but they were shut in. So I went to the Boots and I could not find any brunch bars, but I got him like a whole range of protein bars, literally like loads of different flavours, because I was like, well, what if he doesn't like this flavour, you know what I mean? Like I was nervous that he wouldn't like what I got him, so just got him a bunch. And then he messaged me basically when he was on his palate cleanser and he needed picking up, so I went and picked him up and took him back to his hotel. And then when I got back to my hotel, I sent him a message. I'll put up the message that I sent him. It was a really lovely message, just basically saying, you know, if you need anything, because I know what it's like to be down here working at a place that's full of wankers. I do not know what place he's walking into, I do not know the environment, but I just basically let him know, like I let anyone know, if they need me, I am here, okay? I was booked and busy, but listen, I will drop everything and just be, you know, if ever you need me, I'm here, okay? London is a 24/7 place, and I understand that it's such a busy place, you can actually feel really lonely, and so I just let him know that I was here, okay? Anything you need, I'm here. So yeah, and then the next morning I sent him a message being like, hi, you know, asking how his day went, and he responded, and I'll read you the response that he sent, because this is a very, very him response. Being okay to be TBF. And I was like, is that good? And he was like, yeah spelt YH. YH was fine. Okay. Anyway, I messaged the next day and there was no response, which is fine because I was not expecting it. Well, I mean, it would have been nice for a response, but I wasn't really expecting a response. You know, I didn't message him for a response. I messaged him so he knew that someone was there if he needed anything. You know, it was basically like keeping the lines of communication open, and no response. And then I messaged the day after that, just being like, hi, good morning, you know, final day, you know, you'll do great, da 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 da. And he said that he was back in Sheffield. He left the day before because he wasn't feeling well. And I was like, I actually replied with, you know what, well, whatever, well done, you know, I'm so proud of you, da 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 da. Anyway, when I got back to Sheffield, because we were working, I think it was the next day that we were working, I found out that he had come home because he felt ill. After a day, by the way, he came home because he felt ill. And from my understanding, the restaurant that we worked at, Beams, paid for his accommodation, for his travels, everything, right? And so he came back, obviously because he was ill, which is a bit of a sucker punch, but it was not the sucker punch. The sucker punch was that the evening he got back, after he felt so ill that he had to come back up, after he felt so ill that he couldn't even just wait it out a day and try again the next day, he went to play football with his friends at the football, because they've got like this little team thing, right? And the gag is that he had an Apple Watch on, and his Apple Watch was synced up to his bro, you know, who was actually our head chef, the person that got him the placement in the first place. And so he knew that he went out to play football, which is so funny to me. What an idiot. What an absolute twat. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Anyway. So obviously the next day, tension was high because obviously the owners, well, the two co-owners were there, and you know, one of them does a kitchen, one of them does run a house, you know, so they were very, very irked, and so was the head chef. And you know what, I actually stuck up for him. I said to both of them, I said to both the head chef and the owner, listen, I said, I know that he shouldn't have done that, but you know, just go easy on him. You know what I mean? Because it's hard. It is hard down there, and you know, this, that, and the other. So I actually stuck up for him, bearing in mind that he was just a twat to me. But anyway, so I stuck up for him. Obviously he got bollocking and everything. I'm just gonna wait for the train to pass 1 minute. But you want to know something? Even though I didn't have the best time in London with this boy, I thought that it helped our connection. I thought that, you know what, he's got to see a bit of me outside of work and I've got to see a bit of him. But you know, I thought maybe he might be a bit nicer, and he was a twat, honestly. I mean, he went back to just being how he was, maybe a little bit worse. You know, he wasn't nice at all. You know, I was like, oh my god, did you enjoy your protein bars? He was like, they all tasted the same. No, oh yeah, thank you. You know, you didn't have to do that. Thank you for buying me them bars. Thank you for thinking of me. Thank you for listening to me while I was only talking about me and not you. You know what I mean? Because the thing is, like, he was so big-headed. Like, he always talked about himself. On the way to the restaurant, he never said, oh, what are your plans for this evening? He was all about him, what he's doing. You know, so he never thanked me for them. He was just like, yeah, thank you, they all taste the same. Without the thank you, just like, yeah, they all taste the same. Okay, but yeah, so it didn't help our relationship in work, you know, and I actually thought that, because the day before I left Beams, we actually had a really nice conversation after the shift, and you know, I thought, you know what, he's actually alright. But then I just heard some of the stuff they said about me when I left through people, and then, you know, last year actually when I was on the train here. I was on the train to London, and the Beans Boys were on the train. I don't know if I told you guys this, but it was like literally on the way to shoot, you know, obviously like some of the ones about them. And then, okay, so when I started in Miss Perfection, when I put the debut collection out, he actually responded to, bearing in mind we'd not spoken since before I left. He responded to one of my stories basically regarding the name of the chocolate social, being like, interesting name, you know, with the emoji, you know, which, you want to know something, actually, I respect that, because his bro was, you know, obviously your man, the person who founded the chocolate social and, you know, who did that whole thing. So I would stick up for my best friends like that. So I actually respected that. Like, well, actually, I did and I didn't. I respected that he was sticking up, but I thought it was a bit of a little bitch move to be like, interesting name. I'd be like, you know what I mean, I would have read me for filth, but, you know, it's okay. And then on the train up here one time in 2022, he actually, because we were on the same train again, he went out of his way to come to my carriage and up to me, and we shook hands. And when I was shaking his hands, I looked him in the eyes, I was like, are we good? And he was like, yeah mate, yeah mate, yeah mate. Anyway, obviously, not, yeah, but you creating that bonbon and making it your staple, like, no, you know, but, you know, he was, and that's the thing, it shows his personality, like, he was very, very fake. And so, why am I putting this bonbon out? Because I've heard that he's had a lot to say about me, right, in the streets, if that's what we're going to call it, in the industry, right? He's said a lot, and I hear things. I don't care. Okay, I do not care what you're saying, but I appreciate that you're saying it because it's giving me an excuse to put this out. And this bonbon also, this story it speaks volumes about the straight white male privileges in this industry. Because when I did my stage for 2 weeks at the hotel in London, I felt I could not just walk out of that because I felt ill. I had to show everything. Horrible things went on there, and I still showed up early, on time, on point, and I have to be 10 toes down. You know, I have to slay even when I'm not feeling it. Just to be, you know, just not to be spoken ill of. And if I went home like he did, it wouldn't have been a Declan issue. It would have been spun into a whole homophobic thing. So you want to know something? This speaks to the fact that he thought that he could do this, and the fact that even after he did this, I still got treated worse than he did. By the people at work. And by him, it just speaks volume about the straight male privileges in this industry. So I felt it important to put it out. So let's talk about the bonbon. As you can see, it's the same shade of grey because, you know, bros, they're bros. They're bros. So they can bro together. And none of them are 90s box exclusives. So, yeah, and then the colours. This is actually the colours of one of the protein bars that I got him. It was a protein bar with cranberries in. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it had cranberries in and it had white chocolate in. So that's why it's flecked with red and yellow. And inside you have a little bit of a cranberry compote at the top, then a white chocolate ganache, and then the protein bar that, one of them, obviously not all of them because there was a few, but the one that this is modelled off, I've cut it up, I've dehydrated it, and I've made it into a bit of a crunchy base. So that is at the base of this. So yeah, cranberry white chocolate in the crunchy base. Oh, and if you're watching, hi. Because I always think, like, what would I want to say to these people currently? And obviously, we've gone over your man with It's Seriously Basic. And I would want to say to him that, first of all, I'm proud that you've got out of that place. Well done. And that I hope that you have changed because you were very, very ignorant. I feel like you were aware of your privilege and you just railroaded everyone despite. I pray that you are a nicer person. I pray that you do not speak so disgustingly about people behind their backs. You know, I pray that you're not two-faced. And I pray that I never run into you. So, have a nice life. Or eat glass, I don't really care either way. So yes, that is my little petty moment over for now. So that was running from the Ritz. And obviously it's titled that because he ran from the Ritz. Now for the 4-piece box. We have 2 running from the Ritz and 2 the chocolate social. They're all broing out. Sorry, I'm gonna make all the broing references that I can in this collection. You know what, just because. Right, so yes, here are our 4-piece boxes. I think that these are perfect for Christmas because I mean salted caramel, hello everyone loves salted caramel, then cranberry and white chocolate, that is just literally like, that is like the Christmas combo. Okay, so this is the 4-piece box and now the 9-piece box. And I say this all the time, but I absolutely love unboxing the 9-piece boxes because I have made the bonbons and I bring them down. Would you, actually Mason, would you pass me one of the boxes of bonbons, just one of the big trays? I'm going to show you guys how I bring the bonbons down because these are assembled right here in the studio while Mason's taking the pictures. So I literally just bring them down, that's fine. Like this, like in the box. Just all, oh no, actually you'll have seen this collection. This is a bonbon from the other collection. So I just bring them down like this, and you know, Mason's the one that puts this all together so nicely. Thank you. So this is the first time that I've seen this all together, and I love seeing it because it just looks so pretty, right? Are we ready? Are we ready? Am I ready? Won't it? Oh. These look so nice. Okay, so the 9-piece box is 3 running from the Ritz, 3 the chocolate social, and what is this? What is this? I'm trying to think out which one to pick out. We'll pick this one out. 3 a plea to Costa. So this is one of these assorted 4-piece boxes that you've just not seen on the video, but this protective cushion saves it from getting scratched and chucked about and all that stuff. But yeah, just thought I'd remind you about this because they cost a lot of money. Okay, so 3 a plea to Costa. So a plea to Costa is exactly that. It is a plea to Costa because listen, back in 2016, they had probably the most iconic Christmas collection that I can recall. It was just all so good. The flavors were amazing, all of them. The cups, the packaging, the cups were just beautiful. I'm gonna throw up a picture of like the cups and everything, like the pictures of them. So my favorite Costa flavor from all time, because this was before I obviously fell in love with mochas, but they had the toasted marshmallow hot chocolate, and when I say that that flavor was my favorite flavor ever, like, oh, I'm not over exaggerating, like, it was amazing, and every single year I'm like, I hope that they bring it back, because they brought that black forest one back, and then they brought the cherry chocolate orange one back. Every single year I drop them a little bit of a DM or an email, just letting them know that I think they should bring it back, because listen, I spend a ton of money at Costa, and so does my mum, and so does my little brother. So listen, we need to bring this back. So this is a toasted marshmallow bonbon. So at the top you've got a bit of like marshmallow fluff, as we like to call it, and then you've got a toasted marshmallow ganache underneath that. Now this, obviously, this is very, very sweet, okay? But can you see? You probably can't. That is my favourite in the box. We'll get another one out because we destroyed that one. But so yeah, that's the flavour, and now the colourings. Because I know that some people are going to be like, this looks like a carnival colour. I get it, but the cups for that year were black. That was a large cup, the black one. Yellow and blue. Hence why there's black, yellow and blue. And there was also white on the cup. So when I did the mould, basically I did the backing in white because if I needed to back it with something because otherwise, you know, you'd be able to see the chocolate through it. And I backed it with white because obviously the cups were on white. So I'll show a picture of the cups again so you can see. But yeah, so that's why it's coloured like this. So yes, this is our Fall Winter Wave 2 collection. Oh, do you want to see the inside of this one? I'm going to bite the inside of this one so you can see this one as well. So yeah, they are the trio for Fall Winter Wave 2. We still have the Mason's truffles. £2 from every box goes towards our donation to Mason's Top Surgery. So please go get some Mason's truffles as well. You know what? That can be his Christmas present. What do you think to that? Yeah. Everyone just go buy your truffles. Perfect. Do a good deed this Christmas. Okay, so yes, thank you so much for joining me. And I really hope that you have an amazing Christmas and New Year, and I will see you all later. Bye! Merry Christmas!